through. Cranston puts it on the boot, and she's kicked a wonderful goal. Going to toe poke by Cranston. It's going to roll and dribble and deliver a goal for Rocky.
She was one of the AFLW's inaugural draftees and a trailblazer for a product that wouldn't be where it is today without people like her. With that came some incredible highs and crushing lows. This guest had her career cut short by an illness that she battles every single day. She's a story of courage, perseverance, and success. This is The Watch with Richelle Cranston, more affectionately known as Rocky. Rocky, we've been trying to tee this up for the best part of 12 months, and I want to start off by asking you, Richelle or Rocky? Because via message, I was going with Richelle to be formal, but it didn't feel right.
No, that is my formal name, but no one calls me. My mum doesn't even call me that anymore, so it's Rocky.
And where does that stem from?
That is literally just my first training session at footy, 15 years ago or something crazy like that. And everyone just needed a nickname, and Rocky was it. I'm not sure why. I think it was something to do with I looked a little bit angry when I played football, and I looked like I was going to hit someone. I would never. But that's where that came from. And yeah, day one, and it stuck.
Well, it is nice to meet you, firstly, and really excited to have a chat. I want to start with a little bit of AFLW. You've been out of the game for over a year now. Are you still keeping an eye on it?
I am. I'm watching very closely. I do some commentating with K-Rock Football. So, yeah, still in it a little bit, which is nice.
How have you seen the game develop? So, since your time, obviously, it's continued to get more and more professional. There's more hours dedicated.
Well, yeah, the development of the game has been huge. Like, also the young ones coming through now have played since they were kids. They didn't have to stop when they were 12 or 13 like the rest of us. So when I was finishing, I was 34. The girls were half my age, 17. They've played more football than I have. So, yeah, it's just that development, and the skills are so much better. They're already ready to be athletes. When I think we first started, we were sort of just thrown in there like, what are we doing? But yeah, it's been huge. So it's really exciting. And 10 years now of AFLW. So that's so cool.
Is there any level of jealousy given the opportunity that is there now for those girls? Because you had to push so hard to get it to this position. You're part of that unique group.
Us trailblazers, sorry. No, not really. I'm pretty content that I did my part to help them, and they deserve everything that's coming to them. So no, not really. I'd love to still be out there, but the way I feel and my body, the conditions I'm in now is, I could not. I struggled to get through my last season, so I'm not sure how I could go now. But yeah, no jealousy, just happy for them.
What are your thoughts on the way the league has grown? It expanded really quickly, and people have varying views on that. 18 teams now. Do you think it's in the right spot?
I think it's getting there. I think we've done some silly things with the condensed fixture, and playing through that, I remember how hard that was, and I just hope they get the fixturing right. And I'd love to see them all play each other once, so it's a genuine ladder. But it's getting there, and it's going to take its time. But yeah, it's looking good.
In terms of your background, from New Zealand, is that correct?
Yes. So my family is all from New Zealand, born here though. So.
And so was there an interest in footy straight away? Was it the
sport? Oh, no. God, no. My family is all rugby. So my family's sort of like, what are you doing playing this weird sport? But they've come around. I sort of like it. They don't understand the rules, but they enjoy the tackling component. That's probably about it.
Did you ever go for rugby? Or?
I did play a little bit of rugby when I was younger. But yeah, so I played more softball and basketball and stuff like that. But so when football came along, I was eager to go because I'd loved footy. I watched it with my grandma when I was younger. Always had a footy in my hand. So when the opportunity came, I just jumped at it.
So what age was the first time you sort of stumbled across it?
Well, my first game of footy was when I was 18 in a equal opportunity day at Maryborough. It was the boys went and played netball and the girls played football. And that was my first taste of it. And then when I finished school, I moved to Ballarat from Maryborough they had a women's footy team there, North Ballarat. So that's where I started.
Yeah, well, and was it something, I guess then, because so few people were playing, the standards completely different, were you naturally one of the better players?
I guess so. I won the league best and fairest for the first couple of seasons, so I was, I guess, naturally okay at football. But I don't think the talent pool was that great back then, so...
And how soon after did AFLW become a thing?
Oh, God, a while, because... So I was just playing, casually... it was more the culture was probably more like having bevs after the game, and I was really overweight. I was 106 kilos. And then they brought in the chance to play AFLW. It was like 2020 was going to happen, and I was like, ooh, like I could probably get fit by then. So I just went sort of crazy, changed my meal plans. Like I started dieting, and I lost, probably like 25 kilos. And then they pushed it forward to 2017. So I still hadn't quite lost all the weight I would have liked to have. By season 2 I had, but then they had an AFLW academy, which I was lucky enough to get into. And then from there, it sort of all just rolled into AFLW. But yeah, I had to work really hard to get myself into it. Yeah.
Wow. So that lifestyle change was purely because of the goal to play?
That's it. Yeah, I think AFLW has really changed my life for the better because, yeah, I didn't know anything about diet. I didn't know anything about fitness. And then the chance to play AFLW came along, and that was just something I want to do that. And my mindset just changed completely. And, now I own a gym, and I can't imagine not training. I know a lot about nutrition and stuff like that. And, yeah, that's all because of AFLW.
Amazing.
Yeah.
In 2013 and 2014, when those exhibition matches came about, were you across them? Were you following?
Yeah, I was still a bit big, so I was still working on that. But yeah, I was definitely following. I watched them all. I went to a few, and then was lucky enough to play in the All-Stars game, which was the last one before AFLW for the Bulldogs, which I finished off there.
Yeah, nice. And then the draft rolls around. You went pick 24. What was that experience like?
That was wild because I was just chilling thinking I didn't think I would get picked up, especially not by Melbourne. So I'd spoken to pretty much every other club but Melbourne. And to go so early, I was their third pick, so I was not paying any attention. And I was like blindsided by that. I had massive imposter syndrome, so I thought I wasn't going to get picked up at all. And then to get picked up that high, I was really shocked. I think there's a video of me where I'm like, was that my name? But yeah, crazy.
I guess the professionalism, it's come a long way since then. Mm-hmm. It was probably great for you at the time because of where you had come from, but looking back now, what was it actually like walking through the doors of an AFL club?
Daunting. To be honest, I thought I didn't know how professional it was going to be. I kind of thought I was surprised we were getting paid. Like that's where my head was at. And look, it wasn't a lot back then. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. It's come a long way. We didn't get our uniforms for the first few weeks. We were rolling around in this pink top with some shorts that we had to cover. So now they get their kits. They look very professional. We got there in the end, but yeah, it was pretty crazy. And just to be around all the Melbourne boys, and then you've got also the Melbourne Storm in there and everything. You just, a bit out of our element, I reckon. Yeah.
What were the locker setups and
locker setups? We didn't have lockers first year. What are you talking about? We had a shared locker room. I think it was for public, and then when we were on, they would come and bring Melbourne stuff in, and then we'd take our stuff out. So now, as the seasons went on, we just got more and more spoiled. So it was actually quite cool. But we were so grateful first year that it didn't matter what was happening, that we were just so happy to be there. It's an interesting one. Yeah. But it's come a long way.
Amazing that you use the word spoiled for now having lockers and uniforms.
I know. But compared to what, when you're playing local footy and what you have, going into an AFLW system was, you felt spoiled. The AFL men's got it pretty cruisy, I reckon.
And to play, obviously Daisy Pearce was the face of it at that point. Mel Hickey as well. Yeah. What were they like in terms of professionalism in bringing you along for the ride?
Oh, they were steps ahead. They were ready. They were athletes already. But Hickey, just had to look at her to tell she was an athlete. Daisy was an amazing leader. I still think about how good she was, and I that was one thing about leaving Melbourne was really hard, is that I knew what leadership and mixed year I was leaving. That was really challenging for me, but it was sort of, Geelong was my home and homecoming, so it was a tough one. But
was the build-up and the hype around the first season just something incredible to be a part of?
It was. I remember going to the first game at Icon Park and lucky to get in because everyone was locked out. And I cried because of how many people were there, and it just sort of clicked that it was happening and it was real, and AFLW was here to stay. That was really special. I loved that moment. And then our first game was at Casey. It was pouring down. There was a month under delay and I got suspended. So wasn't the greatest start, but we got there.
Looking back, how do you reflect on yourself as a footballer?
I was pretty versatile, I guess. I don't think I was anything special. I worked really hard. I obviously changed my body a lot and got a lot fitter for AFLW, so I was proud of that. But yeah, I don't know. I always thought I was sort of a bit of an imposter and not sure how I got there, but yeah, it was a good ride. 8 seasons? I don't know. I constantly thought I was going to be cut or delisted. So yeah, I got the most out of myself, I'd say.
So the move to Geelong, was that nice to be at another fresh team, an expansion team?
Yeah, well, so I loved Geelong. I thought I would end up being there for the rest of my career. Wasn't the case. But I lived and breathed that club while I was there. So it was a pretty special time. When I got delisted, I sort of went through a lot of emotions and did I regret leaving Melbourne? And after the first year, Bulldogs had actually asked me to go to them for season 2. And I said no because I knew I was going to end up at Geelong. And then so I had these thoughts of, did I have regrets of not going to Bulldogs because, and then they won the flag that year and I was like, oh my God. But then I've come round and I don't have any animosity towards Geelong anymore. I did for a little bit because I was sort of blindsided by that delisting. But yeah, Geelong is my home. I love it there. If I didn't go there, I wouldn't have ended up there. I wouldn't have had CrossFit Geelong, the gym I owned. So it was... I loved that place when I was there, so it was special to me, yeah.
The highs and lows of footy.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. But I was really blessed I got delisted and ended up in the Bulldogs, and that was my favourite few years of footy that I've ever had. So I guess it sort of worked out in the end, but yeah, challenging at the same time.
What is a delisting post-season interview like?
Well, yeah, so I had a feeling because on our last game, we hadn't had a win all season. We were having a terrible year. And our last game we were playing Gold Coast. And it was like a wooden spoon match, so neither team had a win. And Hoodie, our coach at the time, came and gave me a hug before the game and just said, I want you to enjoy it. And I was like, what is going on here? And we won. I kicked a couple of goals. I played really well. I did enjoy it. So that was good because that was my last game in the hoops. But I had a feeling, so when I walked into the room, it wasn't a great vibe, and it was pretty much told to me that I wasn't fit enough, and that, I don't know, that didn't sit right with me at the time, because at the time I was pretty fit, and even the S&C coach said she went into bat for me about my fitness, but I would imagine it was more so because of my kidney disease that, yeah, my fitness was going to decline. And it had already started declining. So it could be other reasons, I don't know, but it was just that I was not fit enough. So, yeah, just got said, we don't have a contract for you. And then you sort of just get left getting stringed along because they're like, we might. And it depends on what else we get. So I think they were trying to get a few other people, and I reckon they probably got, I think, Chloe Shear or someone like that. So that was sort of my replacement. And then, yeah, the day before, I think the draft, they must have figured out their numbers and said, no, we don't have a contract for you. But then luckily for me, pretty quickly, Bulldogs were straight on to me. So I was pretty depressed for a couple of days, but then had an opportunity to have some chats with Debbie Lee and Nathan Burke, and they went well, and lucky enough to end up at the Bulldogs.
So your kidney disease, is that what ended your time at the Bulldogs? Obviously you retired.
Yes.
After 3 seasons there.
It did, yes. So I was diagnosed when I was at the Cats. So I played 4 years with kidney disease, and at the start I hid it. I don't know why I did that. Looking back, I think I didn't want it to be seen as weakness or something that was going to hold me back, even though it very much was going to hold me back. But yeah, the last season with the Bulldogs, probably the last 2 seasons, I really struggled. Before that, I didn't really notice the fatigue as much, but the last season, I was really struggling, and my kidney function was at about 12%, and so I couldn't really hide it anymore. The doctors were all across it, but then because my potassium got so high, it was like a risk of having a heart attack. So for me to be able to play, I had to go through lawyers. The AFLPA were my representatives. They were really good. And then had to get some waivers signed for me to be able to play. Otherwise, so that the club and the AFL weren't at risk if I passed away. So, yeah, to be able to play 5 games in the last season, which I wasn't expecting to be able to play any because they were pretty much going to go like, you need to start dialysis pretty much now. So I delayed dialysis to finish the season. And like Bulldogs were in a tough spot. We had so many injuries. So I imagine if we had a fit team, I probably wouldn't be playing because I was really not that fit anymore. I was just sort of out there doing what I could. I'd come to the bench and I'd be wrecked. And yeah, but I had to get weekly blood tests to be able to play. I remember we were playing a Friday night game and I'd failed 4 blood tests. Monday, failed Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then passed on the game on the day because I had to be drinking all this Resonium drink, which is to lower your potassium, and it is so bad. It's so disgusting. And I had to, double dose that every day to get my potassium down low enough to play. So it was a pretty wild year and a very emotional up and down roller coaster.
That's an incredible commitment.
Yes. Well, for the love of the game. And I was really lucky that the Bulldogs, they sent me off in style. Like I had an amazing last year. It was rough, but yeah, I just feel content that I got to say goodbye in my own way and not just sort of delisted and passed off to the side. So yeah, it was pretty special.
Was it scary playing?
No, never. I never ever thought about that. And everyone sort of said that. They're like, aren't you worried? I'm like, no. I'm like, God, if I died on the football field, that's where I want to go. So, but no, I in my head, I knew that I was like, my body's not going to let me down out there. Like, I know it was a risk, but it was worth it in the end for me.
In hindsight, is that risk bigger in your head?
I'd do it all again. I'd do it all again. Yeah. I just I don't know, when I got delisted, it sort of seemed like it just got taken away from me. So to be able to play an extra 3 years, I'd take any game I could, really. So yeah, it was cool.
So what were the risks out there?
No, it was just because my potassium was so high and me obviously exerting myself and running around, it's like a risk of having a heart attack. Like you're at risk of having a heart attack just sitting still. And then if you're running around overexerting yourself, then the risk becomes even higher. And then if I got a blow to the kidney, which one already doesn't work, and then I've got only a little bit of function left, then that's another risk. So yeah, there was a bit going on that last year.
And so the process post-football career to get to where you are now,
yeah,
how has that health journey been?
Yeah, so as soon as I finished footy, I pretty much had to go straight in and start prepping for my dialysis journey. So I had to go into surgery and get a catheter put in my stomach. So I constantly have a tube attached to me, which then I started some training for my dialysis, which I do PD dialysis, which is overnight at home, which is really handy. And I set up my machine every night and then I connect via my catheter and I'm connected to that for 8 hours and then it essentially does the role of my kidneys.
Technology.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy, isn't it? But how lucky am I that I have that option because I don't want the other option.
Yeah,
so
that's incredible. I mean, you're obviously so grateful, which is a really positive approach. Has it been a restriction in areas of your life?
Well, yes. So I sort of push against that a little bit because with a catheter in my stomach, they tell you that you should only lift 20 kilos. And I'm like,
it's the gym issue.
I own a CrossFit gym. What do you want me to do? So I've definitely gone against that. I've taken my time. I've listened to my body and I probably wouldn't advise everyone do that because I have a extensive history with gym. But yeah, I still do pretty much everything I could do in the gym beforehand. Obviously, I can't really travel as much because the machine is hard to take and I do 2 6-litre bags at night. But if I do, I can organise a delivery to where I go and do it that way. I haven't yet. Restrictions, other things is my diet, and I have a fluid restriction, which I find really challenging because I used to be an athlete who would drink drink more water, 4 litres a day, and now I'm 1 litre a day, and I'm that includes coffees. You're not really meant to have soft drink or anything like that, but if you have food or fruit, the fluid content builds up, and then so because I don't go to the bathroom anymore.
Wild.
So the dialysis machine does that all for me.
Insane.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing to have to deal with. And so from here, is this a sustainable function?
It is for a while. So because PD dialysis is sort of like you still need some kidney function for it to work. But then from there you can do hemodialysis. So this should last me a few years, hopefully. I think usually it's like 5 years is the limit, but I've heard of people getting much longer. So we'll just see what happens, I guess. But yeah, the hemo would be the next step. So that is where they build like a vein, and then it's where they filter the blood out and clean it that way. But that's more like you go into hospital 3 times a week and do that in clinic. So I'm not really looking forward to that one because I still work full time and I still play baseball, still coach at Geelong Grammar. So I've still got a lot going on. So that one would sort of slow me down a little bit. But then, and obviously, you're just waiting for a transplant, so that would be the ideal option. But until then, it's dialysis.
And it can just keep you going in this level?
Well, if you Google it, it says your life, like 5 years. That's not true. Because I straight away, when I got like diagnosed, I started Googling, and it was like, how long can people live on dialysis? And it was like 5 years. And I was like, but that's not true. That is very outdated. So yeah, I've heard of people lasting like 35 years on dialysis. At some point, a kidney transplant won't work anymore. So like, if you've had one in the past, or if you have 2, the antibodies will be too high, and then you can't get a transplant. So then dialysis will be your last, because transplant isn't a cure. It just sort of ties you over for a little while, and then usually your kidneys will fail again, and then you're back on dialysis. So, yeah, it's all pretty wild.
And so the transplant obviously is integral, and you don't have any idea of when that could come?
No, so my blood type is O positive, which is not the greatest one because they told me it was like a 5 to 8 year wait. And it's not, I don't think it's essentially like a list where you're just like ticking them off. It's sort of more a lottery, I would say, because the kidney has to match your blood type and your antibodies. So if it matches you, then you'll get it. So it's sort of more like luck. But also because of O positive, I think you can only receive from O positive, and that's why it's more challenging and it's a longer wait. Whereas if you're like an A, you can receive from anyone blood type. So it doesn't have to match. The antibodies have to match. So yeah, it could be a while.
And you're doing a bit of work in promoting.
I am, yeah. I'm trying to raise awareness for kidney disease because it is a bit of a silent killer. Like, I wasn't aware I had anything wrong with me, and then when I did, I was diagnosed at stage 4, and there's only 5 stages. And some people can go up to maybe 90%, lose 90% of their function without even realising. There can be no symptoms. So, doing stuff with Donate Life and Kidney Health Australia and Transplant Australia. So, yeah, anything I can do to raise awareness for kidney disease, I'll do it.
And so essentially your message to people listening is just to join the donations
Yeah,
list?
pretty much. Well, it is Donate Life Week. So, yeah, it's really easy to sign up. I think you can do it on your MyGov, which is really easy. But it used to be a sort of tick on your licence, and that would be great if they did that again. But it takes a minute to sign up at donatelife.gov.au.
Perfect. Well, hopefully everyone listening
joins
and gets you one step closer.
Yeah, that's it.
With this, and I mean with AFLW as well, and social media, you've obviously done a bit to promote yourself and the disease you're going through.
Yeah.
But then there's a real positive to social media, and I love social media because I work in it, and there is a really great side of it. And there's also a negative, and I feel like most podcasts I've had recently, I've had to talk about the negatives because there is a lot of trolling and abuse.
Oh gosh, I get some funny ones.
You're a trailblazer in AFLW.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that side of social media?
Oh, don't read the comments. It's always the best. But I say that, but you end up reading the comments because they tag you in it. It's like, I'm trying to avoid you. But you're always going to have negatives. It doesn't matter how positive you put on like a spin of things or how well you're doing, there will always be negatives. So I try my best to focus on the positives because 95% of it is positive, 5% negative, but you really can remember the negative ones, but you're working on it.
The early days of the league, was it particularly bad?
I don't think social media was as prominent back then, like 10 years ago now, but I probably didn't use it as much, which was nice, so I probably should go back to that. But, they're still there, though. Like, I still see the comments. Yeah. Like, get back in the kitchen is my favourite one. And just, like, ignorant people just say, like, it's here to stay, so just get over it. Like, if I see something I don't like, I just scroll, keep going. Like, I don't know why they feel the need to comment, but they do, and they always will. So there's not much we can do about it. So you just got to look at all the positives and the good things AFLW is doing for young boys and girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've continued to get abuse recently with your... I love that you call it out.
I always will.
That's my favourite thing ever, if anyone follows you on socials.
My TikTok is absolutely wild. Like, I would say actually 99% is positive on TikTok, because all my TikTok is about is trying to educate people about kidney disease. Because when I got diagnosed, that's what I went to. I went straight to TikTok and I went straight to Instagram to try and find young, fit people on dialysis, which I really couldn't find any. And I couldn't find anyone doing gym or anything like that. And I was like, that's it. I'm not going to be able to play sport anymore. I'm not going to be able to do any gym. So I've had to figure it out myself. And then, so I decided that, no, I'm going to put myself out there and make all these weird TikToks. And I really made myself vulnerable, and I like show my catheter and how I set up on my machine and the gym stuff I do. And there's still some crazy comments on there. Like, Jesus is going to give me a new kidney on Friday was what I got. I was like, look, thank you. But that's very specific also. But I don't need to be told that Jesus is going to give me a kidney on Friday. I've been asked if I was transgender, and I was like, I'm just trying to get some kidney awareness out there. What does that even matter? If I am male, female, transgender, I'm just a person with kidney disease. God, crazy ones. And then, like, the people that tell you that they can cure kidney disease. Someone told me to just eat grapes, nothing but grapes, for a month. And I was like, okay, grape advice. But yeah, crazy. I do call it out because most of the time it's pretty funny. And then, I can just sort of... And they never write back. Yeah. So you call it out, you'll never hear from them again. So I'll keep doing that. I should start posting some more of the positive stuff, though, because there's way more positives.
No, good on you for putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
You touched on the sport challenges, but you do continue to play the sport that you can?
Yes, I play baseball, and I'm really getting into golf. I actually just played golf this morning. Not very good, but we'll get there. But yeah, baseball, I've always wanted to play. I played a little bit when I was younger, but it was always like footy season and stuff, so I never really got a chance. I got into it last year, play for Belmont and in the winter, and then I play for Newport down in Melbourne in the summer. And it's been really great. It's good. New friends, new skills. It's very challenging. It's like at football, I feel like I know what I'm doing. Baseball, I got no idea. So, it's good to still be able to play something competitively, and it's not as taxing as football. We don't need as much fitness, which is good because I'm running out.
For sure. And so the gym you've got going as well down in Geelong, how many hours are you spending there and dedicating to that?
Too many. No. I own the gym with Beck, so she's really helpful, especially if I'm feeling a bit under the weather, which I tend to be. She'll cover me a lot. But yeah, I'm there from Monday to Thursday and then sometimes Sundays. So Friday's my day off, so I'm here. But yeah, I love that place. That's my little community. I love all the people there. So I'm really blessed to have it. And all my members, and like I consider them really close friends. We have like a group chats and we always spend time outside of the gym. But they look after me, and they know, like, if I'm struggling, they'll all look after me and tell me to sit down while I'm coaching and stuff like that. So, yeah, really blessed with our community.
Another thing on your social media that I saw recently was you crying to just endless amounts of movies. So obviously an emotional person, which is great.
I was also like, you know what? People should know that I am very empathetic and I am a big crybaby. And I just put Wicked on thinking, this is going to be a nice musical. And I cried the whole time. And I knew Fitzy and Gabby would love it, so I posted it. So, the little musical gals. So, so I've really put myself out there this year, haven't I?
Any particular movies that...
I cry all the time. Like, I don't know what's happened, but the older I've gotten, like, I am a big sook. So I cry at everything. YouTube video, TikToks, anything about dogs. I have to Google movies. If the dog dies, I'm not watching it. There's no way. So, yes, big empath. emotional. If someone else is crying, I'm crying. So I remember we went to, we had like a reach session with the Bulldogs, and it was really emotional. And I have never cried so much in my life. It was like 3 hours. The only time I didn't cry was when I was telling my story, and I cried for every single one else's. And I was like, oh my God, I was exhausted. So yes, I'm a big softie.
So what's the last movie that's made you cry?
Well, oh no, I watched the Cowboys. Like, that made me cry. I'm embarrassed to say that. The series, yeah, the cheerleaders. Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. I don't know. Someone must have been having a bad day, and I was crying for them. So, Wicked, and then, Dallas cheerleading Cowboys. Oh my God.
It's funny.
Don't put that on there.
Sport is probably the only way that you can get tears out of me. Like,
oh, really?
In terms of movies, Ride Like a Girl, Michelle Payne at the finish line, like, that's emotional to me.
Oh, no, well, I can even get, like, when they do like a highlight video of a football team or something, and it's like they've won or something, I'm like holding back tears, and I don't want anyone to see me, so I'm like, okay, just keep your eyes open so they don't keep falling down. But a very big sook.
No, that's fair. I appreciate that. I want to give you a question without notice around the AFLW. I want to go top 5 favourite players to watch, and I could have flagged this with you, but I thought
no.
first that come to your mind is going to be the more authentic answers. So,
all right. My favourite is Jazz Garner.
Yep.
Doesn't get enough respect. Bree Davey.
Just a bull.
Yeah, I think I just like the big bulls. Bree Davey, she's challenging to play on as well. Chelsea Randall. Better go a Geelong one and a Bulldogs one. Hey? Oh, Gabby Newton. She's like the most beautiful person, but great player as well. That put me on the spot here.
I can give you my 5 if you want me to buy some time.
Yeah. I need one more.
I don't have a real criteria of how I picked them. I just picked them.
Pick them.
So number 5, I've got Taylor Harris for the fact that she's...
Wow factor,
but also what she's had to deal with. And I don't think the game would be in the same position without
definitely
her.
not.
And I think she's such a good person that has had such a bad run in the media that has been so unfair. And we've spoken about socials.
Yeah.
She's one that has dealt with way too much.
And she's got really cute dogs.
She does. Actually, the day I met her was the day she got her youngest dog, puppy.
Cute.
So we did a photo shoot with her puppy. Number 4, bit of a random one, Mim Strom. Never met her, don't know anything about her, but she is an absolute star. I think 184 centimetres, like good in the air, good at ground level, 23. I think she won for Aries BNF last year, All Australian. I think she's going to dominate the game for a long time. Number 3, Alyssa Bannon. She's one of the most enthusiastic people. I
haven't met her really other than on the field, but geez, she's fast.
She is so fast. And I think if you played alongside her, she would make you just want to play better because she's just got that real infectious personality. So, kick it to her deep inside 50 and let her do the rest. Number 2, Chloe Malloy.
Oh.
I think if her body holds up, she's coming back from an ACL.
Yeah.
She, in, say, 6-7 years, could be the most dynamic player that AFLW's ever seen.
Liz Frank injury as well and ACL. They're 2 big injuries. She would be flying if she didn't have those. Holy hell.
She's strong.
I'd say,
she's
she'd
silky.
have to probably be.
Yeah, she's going to win a lot of MVPs.
Yeah.
And number 1, I bought stocks in Tyler Hanks early in her career, and I'm not selling them.
A little bit of Melbourne bias there.
There's a bit of Melbourne bias there, but her I love foot skills in footy. I love people that can weight the ball to advantage. I think if you're leading to Tyler Hanks, you would just get it lace out every single time.
Yeah, lace out. I would love that. I didn't really have that much in my career. All right, I actually think Chloe Malloy is a good one to finish mine off because she is crazy good.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, who else? Like, there's so many to pick from. I could go on.
To finish things off, I want a prediction. The season's upon us. Who are you thinking takes it out this year? A grand final, maybe?
It'd be hard to go past North Melbourne again.
Yeah.
But also Brisbane, because did you see them just doing conditioning after they've done a practice match? They are crazy fit. So I wouldn't North Melbourne, Brisbane final.
Are you worried about that with the league, that the strong teams are so hard to actually pull back? Because unless they really change the rules around trading and things like that, the top teams are going to retain this talent, and they're very hard to catch.
I reckon it's going to be hard to fill that gap from the top teams to the bottom teams. Sorry, and then with Tassie coming in as well, it's going to be even harder. So I'm interested to see how they deal with that challenge, because those teams up top are just sort of getting further and further away. But But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. They might have to change some rules or something.
Well, it's going to be an exciting season. I really appreciate you coming on for a chat. I know it's a long drive, and I appreciate everything you've done for the game and helped to get it to this position. So thanks very much for coming on.